This week on the Austin Healey channel, we get her topped up. Now that the frame's in place, I'm at the point where I'm starting to play with the top. And that led me to a mystery. So the top comes with this rectangle piece. And at first I thought, oh, well, that's the piece that just wraps around the front, but I wasn't sure. It's made weird for that, so I wanted to know what it was before I start, hacking into stuff and ruin my top. So I go back to all the parts manuals, and they show pictures, but they don't really give details on what this thing is. And I ended up at John Skinner's website. They have the same BN1, their brand of the BN1 top, and they also have this. And there's a video walkthrough of what their top looks like and the pieces that come with it. And they say this is not to wrap around the header, this wooden piece here, but rather it's a wind deflector, or wind flap, I think is the word they use. And that it goes on towards the end, and and you can see their website for more details. Okay, but where does it go? How does it go on? So I go to their website, and I start looking around, and I find the tops, and I can't find, it's just there. I can't find the details he was talking about. And then down at the bottom, it says some of our customers' cars. And so I'm flipping through that, looking at the tops and see how they're done. And there's a picture with one of these installed. It's the only picture on the entire internet that I've found. And basically, this flap goes right here and gets hidden. It gets stapled along here. The item strip goes over it, and it helps keep the wind from getting underneath the top. So mystery solved. I wasn't happy with that because I hadn't seen it anywhere else except for this one picture of one car. So I went to the concourse manual. Nothing mentioned. I went through the service manual and the driver's handbook. No, the pictures there are kind of grainy and hard to see, but it doesn't look like that's there. So I reached out to Jeff Chrysler, who's actually doing an early BN1 top at the very moment I'm doing this one, and in he doesn't have this. So I'm like, wow. I ended up going back to the video I shot of the Healey Museum with their Coronet Cream car, because I figured if this goes right here, maybe even though the top was down when I shot those videos, maybe I can still see it because of the way it folds up. And there is a shot where I'm looking behind the seats, and you can see the top edge, this top edge, but folded up. But it looks like theirs has just been cut off right along the seam, and it's a little ragged and stuff. So there's just metal there. There's nothing there. Finally, I know where it goes, but I don't know if it's original or not. But considering that 99.9% of the Healeys I've seen don't have this, I'm just gonna leave it off, I think. It looks cleaner without it. I think with it on, I don't know. I can't imagine it would really help with the wind that much. I think the wind would just blow it up like that if you're driving, especially if you're driving rather fast. So I am going to leave it off. One thing I haven't talked about is why I have a black top instead of a red one to match the interior. The hood that I took off of this frame was black. The header rail was covered in red material, I don't know if the hood that was on that, the parts of the hood that were on that were original or not, but it was black with the red header rail. The heritage certificate doesn't mention what color the top is. I've seen, there was another Healey that was coronet cream, recently done in coronet cream with a red interior, and they put a red top on it, and honestly, I didn't like it. I like the black and tan look better, and with the scraps that were left on this hood frame, I decided that's the way I wanted to go. I think it looks nicer. Maybe it's just my modern taste. All right, that's where we are and why we've gotten here and kind of why it's taken so long. There's supposed to be 2 strips of webbing that go from the front of the frame to the back of the frame. I don't have those, so I'm gonna have to put those in later. Let's talk about weather stripping. In order to seal up the trunk, there needs to be something between the boot lid and the shroud. For a long time, people thought that the early BN1s would have to have the seal on the top, on the boot lid. But the way the boot lid's made, there's really no, well, the way the aluminum boot lids are made, there's really no place to attach it. There's just this thin lip on the edge here, and that's not gonna hold anything. Fairly recently, they've started to learn that, when I say they, I'm talking about like the Concourse Guide. They started to learn that the early BN1s did do the weather stripping in the channel on the shroud, and it would start around the headlight, the tail light, and it would go around to the other tail light, leaving the bottom open. This is kind of a good thing because the gas tank actually vents into the boot. So having a bit of an air gap there allows more air circulation, and you don't get a buildup of vapors. So the next question is, what weather stripping do we use? I do have some of this, which is the later model style, and it fits in the channel really well. So I think I'm going to use that. The way this end is going to work, it kind of gets tapered down, and then it fits in there. So any rain that does fall in here will just flow down and then dump out the back. So I think that's where the direction we're going to go. Now I just need to glue that in place.
If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.